Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Tommy the Hammer, coming at you guys again with another. Today, I thought we would talk a little bit about the Christopher Reeves-fronted Superman films. I happened to pick up this collection of his movies. This is all 4 of them put onto 2 discs, so I think that's pretty freaking cool. But I gotta be straightforward with you guys. I'm really only a fan of the first 2 Christopher Reeves Superman films. Part 3 was kinda weak, and yeah, I'm a fan of Richard Pryor, but there was just a lot of unnecessary comedy interjected into that movie. Well, when it comes down to Part 4, I remember watching it with my dad way back in the day, and we both thought it was kind of a crappy movie, but I haven't watched it in quite some time, so I'm really itching to refresh my memory on that one. So why don't you guys go ahead, check out the trailer for educational and historical purposes, and when I get back, you're going to know my opinion on Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
The greatest hope against the threat of nuclear war is Superman.
I'm going to do what our governments have been unwilling or unable to do. Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
The greatest threat to Superman is Lex Luthor.
Smarter than I thought. We can make the world safe for war profits.
He's created the ultimate weapon to annihilate the Man of Steel.
You'd risk worldwide nuclear war for your own personal financial gain.
Nobody wants war. I just want to keep the threat alive.
Dude of Steel, where are you gonna get it?
You know you're a workaholic. Why don't you stop and smell the roses, huh?
Superman 4, Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Jackie Cooper, John Cryer, with Mariel Hemingway and Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. Superman 4, his most important adventure, the quest for peace.
Okay guys, I'm back. You know me, Tommy the Hammer. I'm a straight shooter here on Neon Trash. I like to give it to you guys blunt and honest. So when it comes down to the movie Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, well, quite frankly, it's a disappointing movie to say the very least. Now, there's a lot of reasons why this movie just kind of comes up short, but in my opinion, it's because of all the wasted potential here. You've got great actors, you've got a decent enough score, and you've got a plot that could have actually worked. I mean, in my opinion, you've got the skeletal structure of a good movie here, light years ahead of Superman 3, which was actually missing some of the prolific actors in the 2 films that, came before it. So when I was watching this movie, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not going to be that bad. Maybe I remember the movie being a lot worse than it actually is. Well, sad to say, guys, no. The movie still doesn't hold up today. And, there's a reason for that. I love Cannon Films, and, when I think of their movies, I think of, like, Ninja 3, or something ridiculous like that. But I definitely don't think of Superman, so it's really strange that somehow this cheapo company got the rights to the Superman series with actors like Christopher Reeves and Margot Kidder and Gene Hackman. Everyone involved is top-notch actors. So when you're watching The Quest for Peace, you're like, my God, what the fuck happened? The main villain for the movie, the Nuclear Man, I think is actually awesome. In a lot of ways, he's the perfect embodiment of the machismo and cheese-tastic 1980s. There was a lot of potential there. Like there's, shades to the character of Bizarro and, way down the line in the comic books, Doomsday. I mean, there's a lot of action going on here, and like I said earlier, it's, a lot cooler than Superman 3, so the potential was definitely there to make this story work. But sadly, guys, at the end of the day, a lot in this movie falls flat, and it can only be solely blamed on the production, Cannon Films. They shortchanged the movie on every turn, and you can see it when you're watching it. The special effects are extremely lackluster. You know, the actors themselves, they seem like they're kind of sleepwalking through the role. And the story, you know, there's a lot of parts to it that just don't make sense, especially in terms of Superman and his abilities. At one point, he's racing around the planet, you know, fighting the Nuclear Man, you know, fixing all the catastrophes that he's creating, and some of his abilities just don't add up. And, you know, there's a moment where he literally uses telepathic abilities to rebuild the Great Wall of China. What the fuck? So with all that being said, do I think this movie, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, is utter garbage? Well, it's definitely low-budget trash and an interesting film to say the very least, especially if you're like me and you like unearthing all the weird little sordid details of films. In terms of a canon film, I find it fascinating. In terms of a Superman film, I find it to be a failure. So it really depends on who you are and, you know, how you feel about canon movies, Christopher Reeves, Superman, you know, the character in general, and what you expect to see from this old school Superman film series. So at the end of the day, I think I can only give Superman 4 maybe a solid 6.5 out of 10.